Welcome to Chef on a Mission. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Today's mission is storytelling. Jamie, you and I are watching we're listening to the Seth Godin book, All Marketers Are Liars. And I love Seth's stuff. Seth has some really good stuff. He has so many books out there and so many best-selling books. I've barely touched a fraction of his work. But every time I hear him speak, or I see him speak on YouTube or something, see a video from him or catch a piece of his work, I'm really, really impressed with his content. So we were having a conversation last night with another local business owner who owns a bike shop. Yes. Great people, known them for a long time, buy our bikes there. And the whole table of 7 of them, we were having a great conversation about what the products we offer and things like that. And we got talking about vodka and different beers. And years ago, we decided to make a move to only sell American independently owned vodkas. We thought that was made a good stance, especially for our beliefs, as opposed to buying an imported vodka. And especially with buying a vodka that was not only imported, but maybe mass produced on a massive scale with a big company that really doesn't have a small distillery in a small town and it's making a difference. They're cutting corners, they're mass producing, they're mass distributing, and all they care about are profits because they're a publicly traded company. So we made a conscious decision years ago to stop all of the big brands behind our bar, and vodka was our very, very first move. Remember, Jamie, when we used to blind taste people on vodkas?
Oh, yes.
Because we did have Grey Goose at one point. We did have Absolut. We did have Smirnoff. We did have those brands. And we would always try to push the independent because that's what we were pushing. And we would give people blind taste. We'll try this vodka, try that vodka. And we were even so confident the vodkas we had were much better than what they were ordering, like Grey Goose. We would give them 2-3 vodkas, a little tiny taste, and say, taste these and pick one out. And we'd always put Grey Goose in the mix, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'd always put the one they ordered in the mix. And this is so funny because this is an example of how these companies market to you. They market to you because they market to your emotions. They tell you stories. These companies are fantastic storytellers that connect your emotions. People would downright tell us, oh, this vodka's the best. And we would say, oh, this is what? Well, I still want my Grey Goose. I go, but you didn't like the Grey Goose. Well, I know I didn't like the Grey Goose, but I only drink Grey Goose.
Right.
And other restaurant owners even gave us problems at certain points,
Yes,
didn't they?
Did.
And they would downright say, the other vodka's better, but I'm only drinking Grey Goose. And it's just like, it's like the power of advertising, the power of big brands, the power of marketing. And this is just a brand. Now, all of a sudden, you can, if you relate this to pharmaceuticals and nutrition in schools, they even have such a more of a stronghold on educating us and making us feel that we need a certain thing. Jamie, did you know that the pharmaceutical industry spends more on advertising a year than they spend on research?
Wow.
Yeah. So these companies know exactly what they're doing. They're massive corporations. They have millions and millions of dollars to spend on advertisements, millions, if not $1 billion in advertising. And they know exactly what to do. They hire top agencies. They make you feel a certain way about the product you're consuming. They make this connection that to feel relevant, to feel worthy, to feel part of a group, to feel part of something, you need to be drinking Grey Goose. You need to be drinking whatever it is. To be long part of the Jack Daniel's tradition, for 200 years, this is what we're doing, and be part of our 200-year-old tradition. And they know exactly how to manipulate and do this. No matter if you present them with a better product at the same price or even a better price, most of these people are still jumping. Now, this unique situation with us is we don't have the big brands anymore. So people have to actually choose. So what happens when people actually choose these smaller brands, Jamie?
They like them, and it gives them a story, and it tells them a little bit more about why you shouldn't support the big brand. So it's the story that people love.
Right. And we find a lot of people that come back and say, they'll ask, what was that great vodka I had here last time? What was that great cognac that I had at your restaurant last time? I can't find it at any other restaurant.
Where can I get it?
You're the only restaurant that has that, and I really like that. We have people that come in, they're in Florida right now, that go to the theater all the time. They sit at the bar, they love vodka. and he goes through a lot of our vodkas and is just totally impressed with all the small brands that we find.
Yes.
And it's amazing to be able to spark the conversation after the fact that this is what we have and this is what you're doing. There's no conversation if you're selling Grey Goose. There's no conversation if you're selling Jack Daniels, because everybody knows what they've seen about the advertisements on it, but these small little brands, people don't know, and that gives the entrepreneur, the business owner, the restaurant owner, the store owner, a massive platform to start storytelling and telling the story of that brand, telling the story of your philosophy. We repeat our philosophy every single night to guests on how we're independent and we want to support independence, and we feel that it's our job as an independent to work a relationship with another independent business. And a prime example, Jamie, is when we went to Italy. Our last 2 Italy trips, we visited vineyards that we do business with. These are small family-owned vineyards that maybe do 500,000 bottles, maybe 1 million bottles, maybe 1.5 million bottles. These are still small-scale wineries, and people love to hear about our trip, and it gives us an opportunity to talk all about the people who own the vineyard itself, the layout, the geography, the neighbors to the vineyard. We can tell anything about that wine now. And one of our best-selling wines by the glass right now, Jamie, which it's not our best quality wine, interesting enough, but it's our best-selling wine because we have a story. Because as soon as you tell somebody,
didn't you tell them that we were there?
And I'm not saying the wine's a bad quality at all. The wine is an awesome wine, but there's certain wines that are by the glass right now that I would prefer more, and that people that I know that their taste would prefer mine are still going to this other wine because we were at the vineyard. And that's the first thing we start off. We'd say, taste this. Jamie and I were at the vineyard for the second time. That's how much we love the vineyard. And they taste the wine and go, I'll take it. That's it. Enough. Sold. And we're going through a ton of this wine. But there's several other vineyards that we've been to. In fact, on our wine list, you can go on our wine list and see the asterisk next to the vineyard's name. And that means we've either been to the vineyard or we've met the owner or the winemaker in person. And we have some kind of rapport or relationship with these people. So for us, our big story is marketing relationships. We market that we are small, independent, and then we support other small independents, and that we actually have some kind of rapport and relationship with them. I always like to say, Patron is never going to invite us to their distillery, right? But Siete Leguas, who used to make Patron when they had the Patron contract before Bacardi bought them and blew them up, Siete Leguas has actually offered us a stay at their distillery in Mexico, and so has Fortaleza and one of the other brands. They say, please come visit, look at what we're doing. We want to show off what we're doing. Oliver Kelt from Kelt Cognac, he found out that we were using a ton of his product, and he said, please come visit. If you're in France, if you're near Cognac, please come visit the distillery. Stay with us, see what we're doing here. And I got to tell you, the big corporations just don't do that because it's all show for them. A lot of people say, well, I was at Jack Daniels. You were at a Jack Daniels tourist trap. You were at or if you went to a winery, oh, I was at this winery. You were at a scientifically designed visitors center that they know the story that they're going to keep telling you, and you're going to go there and buy products. You're going to buy a hat. You'll even buy Jack Daniels socks if they're sitting there, right? You will buy this stuff, and they know that. And that's the bottom line. It's all scientifically designed to make you feel better about supporting a brand that doesn't care about small communities, that doesn't care about employees, that doesn't care about the environment. They will do anything they can, and you will feel proud about supporting them. That's the bottom line. So open up your mind, open up your palate. When you go into a restaurant, ask for unique things, ask for a taste of something. That's our big thing here, Jamie.
The more that people ask, the more restaurants will get.
The more restaurants will get. And encourage these restaurants to only offer. It's funny because you go onto restaurant websites and it's like, we support local breweries. And then all of a sudden you look at their beer list and they have 15 huge behemoth brands of beer and maybe 4 local brands. Again, people are going to go in, and if people don't know those local brands, they're going to go right to what they're used to drinking. Whether it's a Heineken, a Sam Adams, a Stella Artois, a Hoegaarden, whatever it is, they're going to go right and gravitate right towards that, because you're sending a mixed signal as a restaurateur. You're sending a mixed signal. Well, we support small breweries, and here's the 5 that we support, and here's the other 15 that aren't small. And that tricks with people's mind because they say, oh, this restaurant supports all these local breweries and they're a farm to table and they're a brewery to table restaurant. And they think the Hoegaarden or the Stella Artois is independently owned in a small brewery, when in fact it's part of the behemoth of Anheuser-Busch InBev, which is the world's conglomerate on beer. So people automatically just assume, because you're saying one thing, that your whole portfolio, your whole lineup does that. And I think, Jamie, that people want to hear that, don't they? They want to feel good, and they'll manipulate the truth and say, well, I'm supporting a local restaurant, right? Even though I'm supporting a Budweiser product. Or I'm supporting a local shoe store, even though everything I'm buying in that clothing store is made in China, right? No, ask the local clothing store, do you have any American brands? Is there anything that's American made? Is there anything that's made with fair labor? You know, because a lot of the big box stores have bigger brands, like Patagonia has one of the more stricter standards for a big brand as far as their labor standards. So go in and ask these questions and find out what the best brands are to buy, to drink, to wear, to eat, to drive, to do anything. Every single bit that you vote for better products, it makes a difference. And that's how you vote. You vote with your wallet. Voting for politicians, as we all see, is kind of useless. So vote with your wallet. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Say bye, Jamie.
And Jamie.
Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, please hit like, subscribe to our channel, and definitely pass it on.